Hey, Forrest here. Nothing like getting paid. And with ICCU's mobile app, I can deposit checks or accept Zelle payments so the money hits my account fast. I just wish there was an app for mowing the rest of these lawns.
It's the fall kickoff sale at Lithia Ford of Boise. It's the best time to trade in and trade up to a new Ford truck or SUV with the room to haul your payload or playload. Visit Lithia Ford of Boise, where Ford begins in Idaho.
We don't need gimmicks like giant checks and mascots to promote this year's football contest because we're giving away even more money than we did last year.
$16 million in guaranteed prizes, to be exact. There's 2 ways to win and no rake.
Players in Circa Millions make 5 picks against the spread each week with quarterly and full season payouts.
Circa Survivor entries select one team each week with no point spread. Last the longest to win it all. Visit circasports.com for details.
This is Bronco Nation News Live. The best interviews, the most informed opinions, the latest breaking news, all from the top Boise State insiders. Bronco Nation News Live from BroncoNationNews.com is presented by RowPaint.com, the official paint and coatings company of Boise State Athletics. All Bronco Nation news broadcasts come from the Western Collective Studios. Head down to Western Collective's locations in Garden City or downtown Boise to try some of their delicious beers, including the Horseshoe Golden Ale, the first beer to support an NIL collective. Now, here's 4-time NSMA Idaho Sports Writer of the Year, BJ Rains, with another edition of Bronco Nation News Live.
Oh, it is one of those Tuesdays. How we doing, Jay Tust? I forgot to send you the link. I've been up working on a story since like 6. Looked up, it was 8:57. So, yeah, we're here. We're rolling. I know, Jay, you're getting ready. I'm getting ready. We're leaving town in 2 days, and there are preseason previews to get done and all kinds of stuff. So it is just that time of year for both of us where the hours of the day just don't seem long enough. But appreciate you, Jay, for making time today, and appreciate all of our viewers for jumping in on a Tuesday of game week here at Bronco Nation News. How you doing, Jay?
I'm good, man. I'm just happy that I didn't get some text message from you about would you join me for a 2-hour-long pregame show on Sunday night or something like that, or pregame season special, whatever you did last year.
That was probably coming until some other stuff popped up. So I would love to do that, and that needs to happen. And I'll you owe me one, but yeah, we're probably, I'm going to let you off the hook on that one. Probably there's a lot going on. We'll just say that it is. You throw in coaching your son's baseball team, or at least assistant coaching with that, and you're losing 2.5 hours of practice for these couple of nights. And it's just, it is Tuesday of game week, man. I know we're not grinding it like Spencer Danielson and the players and coaches are. And I'm sure they're putting in quite the effort, but man, that first game week hits you, and there is so much going on. And I know fans don't care about our complaining, but man, it's some long days here, but it'll be fun once kickoff rolls around on Saturday.
I don't know, with all due respect, man, I'm not taking any days off right now. So, I mean, I think we're pushing the limit on the however many hours we should be working right now. But it's all good, man. It's exciting. I know I'm near the end of a big project for me, which is really funny because it feels like it's going to be an accomplishment, and then like the real work for the week is going to start. You know?
Yes. Yes, and it's funny because I'm working on a huge feature on Chris Marshall, and I know you're working on a huge season preview. And I talked to Chris Marshall's mom like 3 times because I keep needing to confirm information. She has been unbelievable, by the way. That's got to be a pregame show feature here in the next couple of weeks. It's going to be an incredible story when I'm done with it, but it's just been taking up a ton of time to get all the details right and talk about everything that's going on in the past. So hopefully later this evening, you get folks at BroncoNationNews.com can read about Chris Marshall and his journey. Might not be till tomorrow morning. We'll see. I hit that point last night, Jay, where you got so much to do and you're wondering if you're just with your focus and how tired you are. Is like, do you try to power through, or do you try to get 5 hours of sleep and start again at 5 a.m? And I know you've been there. And so I decided about midnight to say, all right, I'm calling it, and then got up about 5:30 and felt much better and was rolling, and then looked up and it was 8:57, and I was like, oh crap. So it's going to be fun, like I said, when they kick it off on Saturday. But till we get there, man, it's not going to be. I was already thinking about how tired I was when I woke up at 5:30 this morning, and you know what my first thought was, laying there in bed? We'll be backing up from the gate right about now in 2 days. 5:40 in the morning. Jay and I, our flight leaves on Thursday. That'll be fun.
Yeah, 10 o'clock news. That 5:40 a.m. flight's going to be a little bit of a turnaround for me.
Yeah, we got 2 live shows tonight. Again, we're hosting the Tyson Degenhart show at 7 o'clock. Riley and Rid at 8 o'clock. So 2 live shows tonight as well. If you're wanting to come hang out, we'll be at the James Kitchen and Bar downtown Boise. Kent Riddle and Riley Smith will be live with some special guests at 8 o'clock at the James. So come hang out at the James at 8 o'clock. I'm going to get there early and set up and just host my portion of the Tyson Degenhart show from the James also at 7 o'clock. So clear your evening tonight. The Tyson Degenhart show, the 2 new freshmen, Peanut Carmichael and Julian Bowie, the Pocatello native, will be joining live tonight. They'll be on remote with Tyson on the computer, but I'll be hosting at the James. And then the main entree will be Riley and Rid, 8 o'clock. They'll have some former players going to have their own little season preview roundtable. Jay, we'll let them take that for us instead. And that's going to be fun, 8 o'clock tonight. So programming notes, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, live shows from the James. Be there about 6 o'clock or so. I actually was thinking about it, Jay. I'm like, man, I got so much to do. Like when I go down for interviews here, do I just take all my crap and just stay downtown all day? And I was very close to doing it and going and working at Albertsons or something, but don't know if I have enough time to pack it all up. So we may be driving 30 minutes, working for a few hours, and driving 30 minutes back. But again, it's the stuff that happens on Tuesdays, and it's why Jay Tust makes the mega bucks that we all only dream about.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Hey man, I'm just, like I said, I'm trying to wrap my head around that we get to watch these guys play on Saturday, to be honest with you, because it feels like, not to continue to talk about work, it feels like, there's a lot to accomplish before we leave in like 36 hours. But I'm excited to get there. And I think that, man, my gut feeling, and I know we'll probably get into this later on a little bit closer to kickoff and stuff this week. And I've just been thinking about that Louisiana Lafayette game, how, there was so much going into that game in terms of, man, it's going to be a tough road trip. It's going to be hot. Don't you remember the running back they had, the Prophet? And now they hyped him up.
What was his I'm gonna know. Elijah Moore, maybe Elijah something. Yeah, the
I think it was, wasn't it Elijah McGuire?
Elijah McGuire, the Prophet. Yes.
Yeah. Well, the Prophet plummeted quickly, and I mean, Boise State shut him down, and like there was so much. There were all these there are all these potential storylines going into the game, right? And how it could have been tough, and then Boise State just showed up and absolutely rolled Louisiana Lafayette, or Louisiana, or whatever they put in their game notes that they want to go by.
Very clear on that. Yes,
very clear on that. So yeah, I kind of get a similar feeling for this game. Like, that was a 45-14. I have a little bit more respect for Georgia Southern's offense. Like they sling the rock around, man. They'll be able to get theirs a little bit, but I just think that Boise State's going to show up. And did you see the Georgia Tech coach after they upset Florida State, where the reporters asked him a question? He's like, "Are you?" I was too busy
ripping up my betting tickets at that point. But yeah, what do we got?
I saw your tweet, and I almost quote tweeted as, that means you have money on Florida State.
Nothing like being up on the last day of a Vegas trip and then just deciding to go big on one game and all of a sudden leaving ticked off and mad.
Yeah, but anyways, the Georgia Tech's coach is like, "Are you kidding me? Run the ball." And we've been talking about this running game, this offensive line. I'm getting eager, man, to see what this Looks like
Derek Morales so hyped for the blueprint 2024.
it's coming out, man. It drops Friday at 4:30. It's an hour-long special, and like I'm sure you've been able to observe, there's just been a little more access this year. So it's I want to say most of it's even that crazy. It's just showing up to something that they already had scheduled or something like that. But they've allowed a little more access this year. So I think that it'll be a fun look at the team. You get a little bit of football, you get a lot of bit of,
Hey, it pays to be the
away
official
from
station
football.
for Bronco Nation, apparently. Jay's going to have you covered.
Well, it pays to you're the one that was able to somehow get the Chris Marshall interview despite endless requests. So, maybe that's the balancing act right there.
I'm not sure about that. Yeah. But yeah, I am actually really excited about that. And I'm sure I'm sure that you need to get Mama Marshall on the pregame show one of these days, because that's going to be a great story, and looking forward to getting that out there. Dune is saying need more juice today. I guess he's talking about Spencer Danielson calling some of us out at the press conference yesterday for being a little too even keeled, I guess.
Hey, we're there to do our job. No big deal.
Yeah.
Hey, if you learn anything about Spencer Danielson and the way his players talk about him, you just let Spencer bring the juice. He always does.
Yes. Caleb Blazer, BSU is putting up a 50 burger this week. Let's see. Idaho Hermit Photography has 45-10. Also says notice Dirk got very testy with the quarterbacks yesterday, and I don't know. I don't know if that was just a bad question, a question he just didn't want to talk about, or what. But I got to tell you, when he shut my question down pretty quickly. None of you guys followed up with any quarterback questions about Malachi Nelson anymore. He was setting the tone that he didn't seem like he wanted to, and I wasn't sure as heck going to follow up right away after that short testy response. But sounds like he didn't really want to get into Malachi Nelson too much. He's all Dirk. He's focused in on his starter Maddox Madsen and trying to win with him this week.
No, with all due respect, I mean, like, that was a perfectly fine question. Dirk, also probably a perfectly fine answer, but I just didn't see we only get a limited time with these guys, BJ. I just didn't have a lot of time to talk about Malachi yesterday. I mean,
yeah.
How often do we ask about the number 2 quarterback, going to the season opener?
Yeah, just first time after the decision, I thought Dirk would be a little more open about what went into it. And yeah, I asked just kind of where was that gap? I mean, was this which again, I was kind of giving him a chance to praise Malachi Nelson. It was a really tough decision. It was a close call, but we felt he gave us the better chance. But he went off onto this thing about trying to tell us the difference in size and the gap and all this. And I'm not getting into that or whatever. And then there was not another question asked about Malachi Nelson the whole press conference. So I don't know.
I don't know why does it matter? There was another question asked
because I wanted to follow up. Like, where did he get better? Where did he improve? Like, I wanted to follow up and ask, but that's like 2 straight pressers where Dirk's giving me like kind of a short, testy answer. So I don't know. Maybe he doesn't want to. I don't know.
I think the pro guys are different, man. Like, they just NFL answers are different than college answers, and I think that with Dirk, if he doesn't want it, he moves on.
Cutter was waiting for one of you guys to ask a stupid QB question. For the record, I don't think asking the gap between the starter and the number 2 guy is that stupid of a question. He just, I don't think wanted to get too deep into the weeds of the competition, and he just wanted to focus on game week and the game this week.
Yep, I agree. So let's move on. What do we got?
Yeah. Let's see here. Media should organize a hype crew for next press conference for Spencer Danielson. You want to bring a boombox or something, Jay, next week?
We might have to low key do something. Maybe bring out some lights or something. My daughter's got like this little, I don't know, it's like a light. It's almost like a disco ball, but it's different. You put it on the ground, it shines lights up. So I'll bring that next time.
Yeah, maybe we could plug it in. A 5-gallon jug of Gatorade or something. We just dump on Coach D right before the press conference. Here's what we should have done. Derek says, bring in Jordan K for the sacrificial follow-up question. Let's see. Who's going to play more this year, Gaines or Dudley? I would say Gaines. Nothing against Dudley. He makes run.
I really like Caden, and I think that Caden can offer some things to this team. He quietly was in the New Mexico game. They used him in motion and did some things with him that opened up a touchdown early in that game last year to Austin Bolt.
Yeah.
But man, the answer is unequivocally Sire Gaines. And I mean, I don't know if you caught this yesterday, but when talking about it, And I don't know what it's going to look like necessarily, but Spencer Danielson didn't just say that Zaire Gaines is going to have a role in this game. He was like, yeah, he's going to play. He didn't say that. He said he's going to have a big role.
And you right away, your thought is, okay, is Breezy Dubar healthy enough to play? I mean, where are you? I mean, there's all kinds of things you go to, but or it's just, he's past him. He's number 2. Who knows?
Yeah,
I caught
waiting on that depth chart, and I think that's a position that's going to be a bit of a formality. Like there's going to be you always know how that goes, BJ, where there's a certain position battle, and there's some quality guys, and a 2 deep at some positions is a 4 deep at other positions, and I think running back's going to be one of those, because how do you leave Tyler Crow off of the 2 deep? So that's going to be one of those ones where you look at running back, and all of a sudden, there's 3 dudes listed behind Ashton Genty on the 2 deep. But that being said, man, I if I was a betting man, all those guys are going to get touches in this game against Georgia Southern. I mean, have you seen? You were just in Vegas, and I'm probably not. Is there an over/under of rushing yards out there yet? Maybe some of our viewers, maybe they can find it. But is there an over/under on rushing yards for Boise State in the season opener against Georgia Southern?
I haven't seen that. It's
gonna be like Bovada or one of those offshore sites probably has that type of line somewhere. If I had to guess, oh man, I'm going over 2 bills for sure.
Oh, I would think so. I mean, Chris Washburn says 250 scrimmage yards for Genty alone. He's got 48-24.
I like that. I like that score prediction. Like I said, Georgia Southern's going to score a few points, and that's fine. But I think that Boise State's going to just about double them up.
BSU is now RBU. There you go.
Hey, man, look at all the guys in the NFL. It's even Jeremy McNichols. Dude, Jeremy McNichols been in the NFL for 8 or 9 years. It's crazy how fast time goes by, but he's still kind of hanging on. Big day, I would guess, actually, for Jeremy and a lot of former Broncos. I mean, it is cut day in the NFL, and I'm just seeing that Brett Rippon got released. I assume that's a guy, though, that should probably, get on a practice squad somewhere.
I would think it's worse still find a practice squad. Sure. I mean, he did pretty good for the Bears, and that's a shame he couldn't get QB2 there, though.
He can sign anywhere he wants. Sorry, I'm just trying to look at this a little bit here. He can sign anywhere he wants because of how long he's been in the NFL, but should land on the practice squad at the very least.
Kurt Fuller saying Jay's the man.
What, Kurt? Come on now. Thanks, bud. Gosh,
you were just on your phone. You were just on your phone there for a second. We may have found your burner account.
Yeah, that's true.
Any word on George Halani getting a spot on the Hawks?
Dude, he looks like, by everything that I've seen and read, George looks like he's going to find a spot on the Seahawks 53-man roster, and I absolutely love it. And I don't like to mix it up on the social media platforms like my man here that I'm co-hosting the show with or whatnot. But there was a time last year where somebody tried to kind of throw a little shade at George, not even a little shade, kind of a lot of shade at George during the Fresno State game, which was an interesting game in itself. And man, if you know George Halani, that guy is tough. He is talented. He has impeccable character. He's an amazing teammate. He is humble. He might speak quietly, but he carries a big stick, if you will. So he's awesome. And to see him, finally stay healthy for the Seahawks, George is going to do something in the NFL. If you haven't watched his preseason games, put on some highlights. He's going to be around.
Rudy says fact that Halani has been a force on special teams should help him earn the spot. Yeah. McNichols on my hometown Commanders, hoping he does well. Thanks, Ricky, for watching. And then Robbie wanted to know why Rippon got cut. 99% of his incomplete passes were straight up dropped.
I mean, that is actually that is factually correct, Robbie. He probably should have a 99% completion percentage. It's the way that it is, man. And Rip's going to be really valuable to a quarterback room somewhere just because he's been around. And I wouldn't be surprised if he does stay with the Bears just because of what their QB situation is like. I mean, you would love to have a guy like Rippon around Caleb Williams as a mentor early in his career.
Keep getting those comments, those questions in the ICCU YouTube chat. We're kind of bouncing around a lot of different topics today. I want to talk about some of the other things that came up during the press conference yesterday, but I do want to remind you that we're having the watch party in conjunction with Western Collective and the Horseshoe Collective. So if you're looking for a spot Saturday to watch the game, 2:00 against Georgia Southern, Kekala Kaniho is going to be the game captain as part of the Horseshoe Collective's away game watch parties, and BNN will be down there. And if you just show us proof that you sign up, that you're signed up for the YouTube channel as a subscriber on YouTube, you get entered into a drawing to win a $50 gift card to the Western Collective group there to take care of your tab. They've got some great specials, including $3 pints of the Horseshoe Golden Ale during the game. So come down, $3 beers, have cheap burgers, food, and I think 10% of all proceeds go to benefit the Horseshoe Collective during the game. So if you're looking for a spot Tuesday to come down, it's on the Bar National right there to the right when you walk in of the Western Proper group, inside Western Proper there downtown as part of Western Collective. So we'll see you on Saturday. RoePaint.com, our title sponsor. Check them out, ROEPaint.com. All your painting needs. We're talking interior, exterior residential painting, those concrete coatings. If you're a business, they can do commercial, industrial. Check them out, ROEPaint.com. I mentioned it tonight, 7 o'clock tonight. The Tyson Degenhart Show is back. You can get to know the freshmen. There'll be live guests with Tyson tonight, 7 o'clock tonight. The Tyson Degenhart Show presented by Idaho Central Credit Union, ICCU.com. And again, there's a branch pretty much on every corner, but the easiest is that mobile e-branch online banking right there on your smartphone. Matt Bauscher Real Estate, #1 ranked realtor in the Treasure Valley is Matt Bauscher. Check him out, BauscherRealEstate.com. And again, our family found out firsthand just how great Matt and his team are. We bought and sold our home using Matt Bauscher and Bauscher Real Estate. So check them out, BauscherRealEstate.com. Ridley's Family Markets. Download that app, the Skip app. Get up to 40% off at the checkout line. ShopRidleys.com. You can find one of the 14 Idaho locations near you. Treasure Valley, Magic Valley, all across the state of Idaho, the surrounding states. Again, ShopRidleys.com. And Jackson's, the presenter of tonight's show with Riley and Rid, the Riley and Rid show presented by Jackson's and Jay, the new NIL deals with Ahmed Hassanin, Breezy Dubar. If Ahmed Hassanin gets a sack on Saturday, you can go Monday to Jackson's and get a 91-cent cup of coffee or a fountain drink. And then if Breezy Dubar gets a touchdown on Saturday, you can go on Tuesday the following week to get a hot dog and a soda for $1. How about that? A hot dog and a soda for $1 for Breezy Dubar. If he scores a touchdown on Saturday, Ahmed Hassanin's sack is worth a coffee and a any size soft drink for 91 cents. Make sure you go pick up those trading cards from Jackson's as well. They are out, and I don't know, Jay, if we figured it out yet, if we helped out Mason Randolph. I know he was looking for his own card. He went out and bought 16 packs and couldn't find one of himself, but I know couple people replied, and we'll have to. I requested to speak with him. I'm actually getting him today, and we'll find out if we were able to get him a card.
Yeah, hopefully that blows my mind because I think I've opened up like 4 packs, and I think I have like 3 Mason Randolph.
Give them back to him. Come on.
I will. It was funny. I was gonna message him, but he doesn't follow me, so I couldn't.
Mark Jones infiltrating the chat from Statesboro. Welcome to Statesboro, guys. Game is almost sold out. 2K seats left. Hope it's a great game and nobody gets hurt. Your thoughts, Jay, on your first trip to Statesboro?
I'm excited. I mean, I always like to visit those places where I haven't covered the Boise State football team. Like I know I'm over 20 states. I can't remember. Probably close to about half of America for that matter. But we've covered them in Georgia before. It's been a little while.
Yep.
We've covered them in Georgia before. So I
love the game at Georgia, or was that part of the I went to the Chick-fil-A kickoff in 2014. That's right.
Yeah, that was the one. I mean, the one at Georgia was like,
what year was that?
2005 or something. Where's Tom Scott?
Oh, I was thinking it was 11 or something. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, you think maybe the 10 was Virginia Tech in our nation's capital.
Yeah.
But I'm excited. I always go back. Like, I love going to college towns. Like, it's funny, of all the places I've been, like one of my favorite road trips was Toledo. And the reason why I say that is because like they have this quaint, cool stadium right in the middle of campus called the Glass Bowl. And it just felt like you were at a college football game, watching a college football game. And like when you would go to like, I mean, San Diego State, I'll say is better now, but like when you go to their old place, Qualcomm, and you'd be like, this doesn't feel special. So I would assume that a very similar feeling in Statesboro, Georgia Southern. I think I can't remember what they call their stadium. I'll do a tour when I'm there, but it's like the biggest little stadium or something like that. I can't remember. So I'm excited to get over there and check this thing out. And it's gonna be hot. It's gonna be hot, but I think we're prepared. I think we're prepared for it. We've been through a couple Inferno practices, so we should be good to go. And the good news is that I don't have to get so suited and booted for our streaming digital show, and that's the one that's going to be right before kickoff. So I can be a little more cool and comfortable, which I'm excited about.
There you go. Bronco 130 is asking about the seating at the Western Collective watch party for the pregame. They have a huge bar to the right. Jay, I don't know if you've ever been in there. You walk in the Western Proper group. They have 3 restaurants. They have Due West to the left, the Western Proper kind of bar area to the center, and then they have a bar and seating to the right. So there's a full kind of U-shaped bar, I guess, 3-sided bar. They're going to have the sound on. They'll have TVs, and they have all kinds of booths and tables beyond that. So seating for plenty of people. 2 o'clock. And again, Kekala Kaniho will be there hanging out, signing autographs. They'll have a different former player every game. I know Winston Venables on the list for one of the games coming up. And again, $3 beers. You'll get the sound. You may even see the Reigns boys and Karen running around, hanging out, signing people up while I'm in Statesboro. So if you're looking for a spot with Boise State fans to come watch the game, we'll see you Saturday at Western Collective Group there. That game in Athens was maybe the strangest Boise State game I've ever watched.
I think 6 picks or something. Yeah, that was a tough one for the Broncos. And as strange as that was, no game will ever be stranger than the 2015 Utah State game in Logan.
The ball just didn't bounce their way, Jay.
The ball bounced anyway, but their way.
Remember, though, that was either Harsin or that was like Marcus Henry or somebody who was just like, yeah, the ball just didn't bounce. They had 7 turnovers. I think 2 were like touchdowns the other way on the turnovers, a couple pick sixes or fumbles taken back. Dan Wolken had, Matt Wells getting a job and getting the USC job after that one that night. Yeah, that was a very crazy game. But I remember after the game, we got to talk after a game in which the offense has 7 or 8 turnovers. We talked to the center, Marcus Henry, and nothing against him, but the theme of the game from him and Coach Harsin was that the ball not bouncing their way.
Yeah, that was a tough one. We don't need to spend any more time on that, though.
No, we don't. Let's see here. Mark Jones, our guy from Statesboro, says Eric Russell called it the prettiest little stadium in America.
That's what it is. I knew something kind of cool.
I could see Tust doing a new Dr. Pepper commercial with the Boz.
Yeah, I'll do that any day of the week. Let's go, Rudy. Line it up, man.
Bronco 130, you had me at $3 beers. There you go. And 10% of all sales go back to the student athletes as part of the Horseshoe Collective. So check that out as well. We had a couple of questions in here about the press conference yesterday. I know we're kind of bouncing around, but somebody was asking, let's see here. Oh, by the way, the Sandbar in San Diego also hosting a watch party. Great crowd for San Diego Bronco Nation. Love the Sandbar right there by the, what is that? Oh, not Fairmount Park. What's the little roller coaster in the little park right there as you're coming onto the beach? You know what I'm talking about, Jay.
Yeah.
There's a little like wooden roller coaster, and you're just right there on Pacific Beach, and the Sandbar.
Somebody
nice little spot there to hang out. And yeah, I would much rather being in Statesboro will be fun, but if I could watch it from the Sandbar and have the ocean right there and a cold one in my hand, that would certainly. It's Mission Beach, not Pacific Beach, but yeah, that would be that might be the winning spot to watch the game on Saturday. Belmont Park, there we go. I knew it was close to there. They're all okay. We got you, Belmont Park. Thanks, guys. Appreciate the comments. But someone's out. Let's see. Our man Kip was asking about Eric Chenander, his comments about the defensive scheme. I think Johnny asked a question about putting his own spin on the defense and what might change. What would you make of what Eric Chenander had to say?
It's so funny. Like, we are at the point in the preseason, and this happens every year, where you basically exhaust all storylines. So you start to ask questions like this, and there's only so much they're going to give you. But I think you're going to see a lot of guys play on defense this year. I think we've talked about their depth, and it's interesting because, there are certain playmakers like an Ahmed Hassanin where he's going to be on the field if he can be on the field. And yes, if he gets tired, they know that breaking point, things like that. But I think for the most part, you're just going to see a lot of guys rotate in and a lot of guys play. And the depth this year is better than it's been in years past. And I think that's going to be a little bit of a hallmark of this team is how many guys can contribute this year. Like, I don't think you're going to need your starting free safety to play 99% of the snaps. Like, he's going to play. Yeah, he's going to play like 85 to 90. He's going to play a ton of them, but like, you're also going to have the ability to maybe give him a series off in the middle of a game when it's 1,000,000 degrees out.
What about for Hassanin? I think you were asking the questions about, what do you think the percentage of snaps is for him? And I thought it was very interesting. They have it, they've been using these GPS things a lot, and they have it down to the science where they can tell in practice at what number of plays in a row his kind of speed burst or whatever else starts declining, and when to get him out of the field, and also for his health, whether it be pulled muscles or whatever else. Like, they know the exact number of plays, and they said they're not going to tell us, but they know the exact number of plays that he can play in a row till he has to come out of a game.
Yeah.
I mean, that's crazy technology, right? They have right now.
Yeah, but that's where they're at in this thing. And Chinander obviously wasn't going to tell us like the number of plays or whatever the metric is that they use to measure this, but they, it goes back to, Spencer saying they're trying to find everyone's breaking point, and it's it's actually pretty literal. Like they can understand where everybody's breaking point is, and when guys need to get out of the game and get a little bit of a breather. So, I think there are certain guys where there's a rotation, a rhythm, and a flow of how you're going to rotate them out. But Ahmed Hassanin's not necessarily one of those guys. And Chinander went on to explain this yesterday. Is like, if we're going to go 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, then he's going out there for the fourth series because he's barely been on the field, to where, it might work into where another rotation is ready to go at another position. So Ahmed's just a little bit of a different beast, but hey, we already do that.
Hey, keep the questions and comments coming here in the ICCU YouTube chat. Kind of a press conference Tuesday here. We're answering anything you got. Ben's wanting to know where the Chris Marshall interview is. I guess you came on a little late there, Ben. Finishing up a story with Chris Marshall. Once I get the story posted, I will post the YouTube interview because it was great stuff. But I will say this, Jay, about his mother. Awesome lady to chat with. And again, not to give too much away, but she said nothing bad to say about Jimbo Fisher or Lane Kiffin, but the relationship that her son has with Spencer Danielson is one that she has never seen before. And she doesn't know why Spencer Danielson came into her son's life at this point, but she is eternally grateful because he may have saved more than just Chris Marshall's football career. I will say that. And so that story, which I got to be honest, I mean, I got some questions. I got some comments from Chris in there, but his mom was so good that probably 80% of the story is his mom's comments, just because she was so open about it. But he's got an 8 or 9 month old son now. And so again, I'll get the story out there, and then Jay will do a much better job on an upcoming pregame show, telling the story about the Marshall family and Chris's, it's funny because I know you've been there, Jay. I know your story with Antoine Turner several years ago. I mean, there's just certain stories that, like, as you're doing it, you're like, I better not screw this up because this has a chance to be really, really good. And as they're talking, you're getting it, you're just going, wow, this is really good stuff. And you just hope that you don't screw it up. And that's kind of where I'm at with this Chris Marshall one, because I do think that I'm by no means tooting my own horn because the story is theirs. They're telling the story. I'm just saying that I'm hoping I can try to give it the justice it deserves, because it's going to be a cool story. And tell you what, they both said, both of them on their own said they'll be in tears when he runs out of the tunnel, Jay, on Saturday, because Chris has overcome a lot and his mom has seen him grow and overcome a lot. And there's a lot of cool stories on this football team for Saturday. And who knows how many plays Chris is even going to get out there on Saturday, but he's one that is certainly going to soak in the moment, as will his family, when he takes the field for that first time on Saturday.
It's gonna be really, really cool, dude. They gonna be there?
They are going to be there. That is the plan for them to be there. Yes, she will. The mom, their parents are going to be there, and yes, she said that she's an emotional person to begin with, but when she sees number 5 run out of that tunnel, she said she won't be able to, knowing what he's gone through the last couple of years and where things could be for him. She said that there's no doubt that she'll have tears. And Chris said he'll have a tear on Saturday as well, just kind of knowing what he's overcome. But I mean, we hear a lot about Spencer Danielson, man. And we saw, I guess, yesterday, another group of players got baptized in the river. It seems really genuine. And she, like I said, she basically says that he, may have changed more than his football career by Spencer Danielson getting in, and she praised Matt Miller as well, and the whole staff, and the credits that, and this, helping with the academic side as well, and getting the credits transferred and everything. So that is coming hopefully this evening. You know how it is with stories. You got to make sure legally and everything else that I feel comfortable with some parts of it. So we're just doing what we can, but we'll try to get it out tonight, if not for sure tomorrow. Someone's asking about the depth chart, Jay. What do you make of Boise State? I think I kind of chuckled. I mean, it's perfect football gamesmanship for week 1. You're not going to release a depth chart? Well, then I'm not going to release a depth chart. But I saw a lot of Georgia Southern fans said, "Oh, they're in, Boise. They're in Boise State's head, and they've already won the game because they've already, they're too worried about the depth chart, not what's going on the field." But I think it's nothing more than football. That's just how these coaches are weird. They're not in anybody's head. It's just, hey, you're not going to release our depth chart? Well, we don't need to release ours. I mean, Boise State, the depth chart does nothing except give the media and fans and the other team like a list of what it might look like. Boise State has their depth chart. They know what they're doing. I think we know 95% of the depth chart already. I don't see it as a big deal, but I did kind of chuckle when Boise State decided that they were going to withhold theirs. The actual thing is like, why is Georgia Southern? I mean, they're withholding. They were the first ones that said we're withholding ours till Thursday. Like, that's where why are they withholding it? That's the first thing that should be getting the controversy, not Boise State deciding to also hold theirs.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's silly. I don't know if it really matters, but whatever. There's so many guys on a season opening depth chart too that you just don't know a lot about. So how are you gonna figure that out in a couple of days? Like, whatever. Play the game.
You're gonna go try to find Cam Bates high school tape. I mean, come on.
Yeah. Who even knows, by the way? Like, I mean, I guess we can assume who made that final decision, but how was he influenced? Like, who even knows? Like, is what it is.
Yeah, I all the Georgia Southern people chiming in. Oh, they're in their head. Like, no, like, release yours, they'll release theirs. Like, it's just kind of a fun football. It's a perfect, like, football's back type thing. Here we are, gamesmanship in week 1 right out of the gate.
All that I know is number 2 showing up to be the starting running back, so I don't really care about a whole hell of a lot else.
There was the question, and this is an interesting thing, and I do need to thank one more group of sponsors here, but I wanted to ask about something else Spencer said. But there was a question about Ashton Jeanty, and I guess on the call, the call that Clay Helton did, he talked about just, how much of an impact Ashton Jeanty is going to make. And I know this isn't basketball, Jay. You can't like just totally take a player away by boxing wanting him or whatever, like triangle and 2. We got to make sure that this guy doesn't beat us. But there are ways you can try to focus on certain players at times. Now, is any team going to be able to completely take Ashton Jeanty out of the game? Like, of course not. But you do wonder in terms of stacking the box, whatever else. Like does it get to a point where maybe it is better to move the ball around to some other guys at times, or do some other things, or how I never really thought of that. I guess there was a question like, how do you weigh? And again, that's one of those in-game adjustments, I guess, that coaching staffs will make. Like, I think the adjustment should be keep giving Ashton Jeanty the ball, and eventually he's going to run for 60 yards and a touchdown. He's that good, but it is kind of the cat and mouse back and forth game. And like, at what point is there so much attention on Ashton Jeanty that maybe you do give him 3 less carries because you try to give 3 more play actions where you throw it deep? I don't know. Just that cat and mouse game might be a little interesting to watch, but I think by and large the game plan is going to be and should be give number 2 the ball as much as possible.
Yeah, that should be it by and large. There were times last year, though, where, I mean, look at the Wyoming game. Teams tried to load the box. Air Force, there were teams that tried to load the box last year, and Ashton still had the ability to go off against those teams. So go ahead and do it. But I also think that this team's a little more potent at wide receiver this year. And you look at the genetic makeup of some of these dudes on the outside, whether it be Chris Marshall, Cam Camper, Prince Strawn, Austin Bolt. These are dudes that can go get it. So if you want to load the box and leave those guys one-on-one, good luck against a dude that's 6'5" with a 40-inch vert and Prince Strawn. So I mean, you're gonna have to pick your poison, and some of these guys are gonna have to go out and make plays in order to maybe pull that extra safety out of the box against Ashton Jeanty. And once they do that, get back to the ground game. So it's gonna be a great little, as you just said, cat and mouse game to begin this thing. But I don't think, BJ, I have ever been more confident about a single Boise State football player going into a season than I am about Ashton Jeanty heading into the 2024 season.
Wow.
He's going to be a monster.
Knock on wood, he can stay healthy for a full season because it could be fun to watch. Boise says it's just gamesmanship. Spencer Danielson not listing a depth chart won't change the amount of tackles Ashton Jeanty will break on Saturday. Ben Welch, I love the gamesmanship. Why not? And then Bronco 130 has a response or an idea. He says they should release it, but just with all oars. Just put an oar at every position and list all 100 players on the depth chart. Why not?
Feel bad for the dude that's got to reformat the game notes if that was the case.
It's actually kind of funny, Jay, because I really was curious. I'm very curious actually to find out who QB3 is, because I know QB3 is like not a guy you ever hope to have to see on the field. No disrespect to whoever it is, but like if you get to QB3 in a real situation and not a kneel down, like you're not probably in a very good spot. And I think we all just kind of assume that it would either be a net, the scholarship quarterback, or even a guy like Fulton who's been here a while and has done some things and almost got to play in the bowl game. But we've been seeing the local kid, Max Cutforth, get a ton of reps, even some second-team reps. I think even got a first-team series in one of the 7-on-7 drills last week. And that was a question that I wanted to ask Dirk Cutter, but after the shutdown of the Malachi Nelson QB2 question, I wasn't sure if that was the time to ask about QB3. But I think QB3, they usually only list 2 on the depth chart. I'm not expecting them to list a QB3, but I think Max Cutforth might be QB3 right now.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if that's the case. I covered Max in high school. Max is bigger now. Like he's grown since he's been here. Looks pretty good. You can tell like he's no longer like the deer in the headlights walk-on freshman. Like he gets what he's doing and where he's supposed to be and how he's supposed to execute. And so I'm happy for him because, like I said, he's another local product walk-on that is punching above his weight at the moment and making things difficult. But you say that nobody cares about QB3, man. Well, I got news for you. There's been these last few seasons, they've got down to QB3 at times. So
yes,
they definitely need to have a plan there, and I know that they do. But that's a legit thing to discuss because it has happened these last few seasons.
Hey, I want to thank a couple more sponsors real quick before we wrap up the show. Snake River Pool and Spa. Check them out, thespateam.com. Twin Falls, Boise, Meridian, Nampa. Been around since 1978. They're supporting Boise State and doing a lot of great things. So thespateam.com. And again, the Rains family is happy with our spa from Snake River Pool and Spa. We'll be telling you more about that moving forward. But again, not just spas. They got pool tables for the game room, all kinds of good stuff. Check them out, thespateam.com. We'll be tomorrow. As if not enough was going on, Jay, with live shows tonight. Tomorrow night, we will be at Lithia Ford of Boise tomorrow. Brad Bedell, John Mallory, and myself, 9 a.m. We'll be in the showroom there broadcasting a special edition of Bronco Nation News Live. There will be no show Thursday with traveling down. Unless, Jay, you want to do a show from the Denver airport? Why not on Thursday? We got nothing else going on. Lithia, no, there'll be no show Thursday. Lithia Ford of Boise. We'll be there on tomorrow morning. So if tomorrow morning you want to come hang out with Brad Bedell, John Mallory, we'll be there tomorrow morning, but make sure you don't miss a special edition. That's going to be a fun show. Lithia Ford of Boise tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Taco Bell, we appreciate them. TacoBellWorks.com. They are hiring. If you need a job, check them out. TacoBellWorks.com. SON Management Group, the Nicolason family, we appreciate their support. And again, great food. Taco Bell, perfect time to evening, quick meal, cheap, affordable, and delicious food for the kids, the whole family. So head to Taco Bell next time you're looking for a fast food meal. And again, if you're looking for a job, they are hiring. More information at TacoBellWorks.com. Speaking of looking for a job, Transportation Compliance Service can help you out and get into the trucking industry. All the permits and things you need to get out there towing that first load in no time. Check them out. It's a local company, helps folks all over the United States. TransCompService.com. Get that game day gear for Saturday. Jay, I don't know if we know the official uniform combination. Maybe we already do, but I'm guessing it's all white. We'll find out here pretty soon. But all the color schemes for the home games and things I know are out. Check them out, theblueandorangestore.com. Travis Hawks and company do a tremendous job. All your game day gear, whether it's the new jerseys, the caps, the bumper stickers, car flags, jackets and sweatshirts as the weather gets cold. You name it, they got it at the Blue and Orange Store. Check them out, theblueandorangestore.com. For all your game day needs. And of course, shout out to Dave and everybody over at Lean Feast, leanfeastmeridian.com. Check them out, leanfeastmeridian.com. Healthy eating, great options. And I'm doing it backwards, Jay. I'm now trying to get back in shape as the season's starting instead of doing it before the season started. But we're gonna a couple of those shirts starting to fit a little snug here. I got to drop a few pounds. So it's been primarily Lean Feast for me here the last couple of days, and highly recommend Lean Feast. Check them out, leanfeastmeridian.com. As I said, tonight, 8 o'clock, the Riley and Ridge Show presented by Jackson's live at the James Kitchen and Bar, and they're going to have some former players, a little roundtable. You never know what's going to happen. I would assume this is going to be a fun show. It's going to be worth watching. Riley Smith, Kent Riddle tonight, 8 o'clock, Riley and Rid presented by Jackson's. And again, 7 o'clock, we'll have the Tyson Degenhart show before that. So check us out, 7 o'clock for the Tyson Degenhart show. I'll be live with Tyson. He's going to have some guests. And then at 8 o'clock from the James, the Riley and Ridge show as well. So back-to-back live shows tonight on Bronco Nation News as we continue to get you set for football season, but also mixing a little basketball talk this week as well. Was there anything else, Jay, whether it be from Spencer, whether it be from Eric Chenander, from Dirk Cutter, anything else from the hour-long media availability yesterday that stood out?
I'll go with the fact that, and we've been talking about this for weeks, Cameron Bates is gonna make an impact on this team almost immediately, and that's not it's no longer our opinion, BJ. It is Spencer Danielson put that out there yesterday that he's going to be a guy that plays for this team, and I think the substantial thing there is, despite the fact how deep and talented the wide receiver room is, there is a true freshman that said, "Hey, I'm good enough to contribute and help this team immediately," which if there was one position on the team where I said that would have been like the biggest long shot just because of what they had on the roster, it probably would have been wide receiver.
Which is crazy. Yeah. Of all the spots, I think a true freshman could come in and contribute. Yeah. I agree. Nobody would have said probably wide receiver, but I told you from the very first day of practice, I got him mixed up with Cam Marshall by mistake because he switched his number. I believe in the spring, Cam Marshall was 80 and they switched or something, but I just heard him saying Cam. And then I'm like, oh, wait, no, that's Cam Bates. I was like, oh, wow. And they don't look alike. I just screwed up on the first day when I saw the number on one of the deep passes. But, man, Cam Bates, that's going to be intriguing to see how they use him, whether it be in some of the, I don't know, a lot of different packages and things, but he has been very, very impressive. And you mentioned the running backs as well. How deep do they go? How do they, again, you want to give Ashton Genty 35 carries every game, but if you've got a guy like Sire Gaines and Breezy Dubar ready to go, maybe that is 3, 4, 5 less carries that you can take off of his plate and let some of those guys have. I mean, the distribution of the ball and the distribution of the playing time offensively in this first game, I'm as intrigued as I have been in a while to see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm going to put the over-under on carries for Sire Gaines at 9.5, and I think he goes over.
9.5, and he goes over. And is that because you think it's later in the game, it's a blowout, or because the heat and they want to not have Ashton get 20 carries in the first half?
I just think they're going to run the damn ball.
Yep. How do you feel about the O-line, Jay? We haven't gotten the depth chart in terms of the right tackle. We assume it's going to be Hall Schmidt, but those other 4 guys have been in and out, and a lot of it you never know in fall camp. It's just maintenance days here and there and small things going on, and we see guys in boots, and then they toss the boot into the back of their truck, and everything's fine when they leave. Overall, the O-line, if the 4 guys that we expect to be out there are out there, and then you have Hall Schmidt, again, we're talking about some guys that, Roger Carry-on types that that have, 6, 7, 8 games of starting experience. Not like they have multiple years, but overall, that's, 4 guys that have started and played is a nice luxury going on the road in week 1.
Yeah, it's an unbelievable luxury. And for the most part, they all, outside of Ben Dooley, they all have multiple years of eligibility left. I mean, this is the beginning of something great. I mean, imagine Sire Gaines from, 2 years from now when he still has Cage Casey and Roger Carry-on that offensive line, and Hall Schmidt for that matter too, right? So this is the beginning of something special up front, I believe, and I think they're ready to go. I've said this on multiple times on this show. I think the world of a guy like Roger Carry-on. I think he's outstanding, and I just think that this O-line is going to be ready to roll. I think they're ready to roll.
Another story I'm working on, and I think you've done something on him already in the past, in Jal, New Mexico, but I had to push that back a little bit to move the Chris Marshall one in front of it. But the town of Jal, New Mexico, pretty crazy to hear some stories there when Boise State went there to recruit him. So that's coming in the next couple of weeks. Not a question, but someone says Georgia Southern starting 2 new offensive tackles, hoping to take advantage of that. Maybe Ahmed Hassanin going against a new offensive tackle, Jaden Virgin Morgan. Maybe that's an opportunity for Boise State to get off to a nice start defensively.
To quote Ahmed Hassanin from the Bronco Roundup preseason special when talking about Jaden Virgin Morgan and himself coming off the edge, night QB or bye QB. I can't remember what it was, either one of those. So not necessarily talking about Georgia Southern, by the way, not specifically, just in general. Yes. He's got some excitement. Another one of those quotes, though, BJ, where in the Chris Peterson era, even a guy like Ahmed Hassanin
wouldn't talk to him for another month. Who was the speedy receiver that talked about it being too cold, and we never at BYU because it was raining and his folks were worried about the cold, not the game, and we didn't get to talk to him for like the rest of the season or something. Okay, final question, Jay. Simon wants to know, is Jay's Sports Bar going to be happening this year?
Yeah, it'll be back, man. Wanted to bring an episode back before the season opener, but it's just inundated right now with too much. So we will absolutely get that back up and running again this year, Simon.
And then what is the update on when the preseason special, the roundup, all that stuff is available already or will be available for folks to watch?
Bronco Roundup debuted Sunday night and plays the Sunday Sports Extra at 11 o'clock. It's streaming right now on YouTube as well as KTVB Plus. It's going to re-air again later this week. But again, since you've given me the platform to say it, watch the blueprint. It's going to be a fun little
When is that?
look.
Friday at 5:30?
Friday at 4:30 to 5:30 on KTVB. You can stream that as well, and then we will get that up on on YouTube as well, so that you can watch it. There's certainly a number of ways you can watch it if you are out of town, but I think it's just a really fun look at this football team and a better understanding of who Spencer Danielson is, his character, his leadership, and how the players are responding to all of it.
Yeah, look forward to that. Again, go online to their YouTube channel, KTVB, watch the season preview. And again, the blueprint comes out 4:30 on Friday. Jay, hoping that we can do Friday morning. I guess it'll be 11 a.m. We'll see what your schedule's like going over to Statesboro, but if we can make it work Friday morning to do something from Savannah/Statesboro as kind of an official final episode of BNN Live before the season starts, hopefully we can make that happen. We can discuss it at 4:30 in the morning at the airport on Thursday, I guess. I'm looking forward to that. But appreciate you, Jay, as always.
Yep.
A-Town says, Boise State 2025 national champions CFP, here we come. So why play the season there? A-Town, it's happening, I guess. We got practice to head down to. We got interviews. Maddox Madsen is talking today, by the way. Maddox Madsen talking today. So we'll get that interview up, KTVB, Bronco Nation News, all your various media platforms. And then we're one day closer. Keep watching KTVB, the newscasts, various times. Keep watching our shows. And again, join us tonight at the James, 8 o'clock for Riley and Rid. But first, watch at 7 o'clock for the Tyson Degenhardt show. And then tomorrow morning at 9 a.m., Brad Bedell, John Mallory, and I will be at Lithia Florida Boise as well. And then Wednesday night, we got Ball Talk with Johnny and Sanford. And then Thursday morning, we head out at 5:40 a.m. For Denver. I did see our layover in Nashville is like 3 hours. I'm not sure if I'm super excited about that. But they have live music usually. There's worse places to be, I guess, than Nashville. We'll find a little spot and get some lunch maybe.
I just need a coffee shop to get some work done.
Yes, we'll find that for sure. Jay, appreciate you, man. We'll see you soon down at Boise State. Have a great day, everybody. Thanks to all of our sponsors. Go support them if you can. Subscribe on YouTube. Hit that like button on this video if you can. The 200 of you that are watching on YouTube right now, we'd love to have you like this video, subscribe to our channel, and help us out. So have a great rest of your day. Interviews coming soon from Boise State, and we'll see you at 7 o'clock tonight for the first of 2 live shows. Have a great day. Bronco Nation News, BroncoNationNews.com.